Hey everyone, and welcome to the FourVision podcast. I'm your host, Ivo, and every week I'm going to have a conversation that matters about HR. This week, I have Chris Coolen with me. Welcome, Chris. How are you doing?
Hi, Ivo. Yeah, thank you. Good. Very busy, of course, like all people in the company. So that's a good sign.
Okay. Pretty busy. Keeping yourself busy.
Yeah, a lot of projects. So currently a lot of people are busy with implementing performance management at the start of the year. So that's also a busy period for me in that case. So
yeah, I can imagine. Yeah, Chris is based in the Netherlands and is an implementation lead consultant and a performance management product specialist at FourVision. He has an extensive experience with HR technology and payroll interfacing as well. So this should be fun. All right, Chris, you ready? Let's get to it.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. So
start the fire, I would say.
Start the fire. Okay. Let's start from the beginning. Tell us a bit about yourself. When you started your career. A bit of your path until now. Just a general overview. I know that the career is long already, but a general overview.
I will make it in a small nutshell. So I started working at my 18th. The first 5-6 years I worked at a Dutch bank in a commercial job, so completely something else. And I was looking for something new, and so coincidentally, I rolled into the HR world. Then when I was 25. And I worked for a large Dutch media company. I worked there for almost 14 years. And during that period, I also started studying HR. I did two HR studies on the University of Applied Sciences. So I did two studies in 4 years, 4.5 years. The first 14 years I really worked on the HR side.
Yeah.
And after that, I switched to consultancy.
Okay.
First, 18 years in the Oracle world, and since more than 4.5 years, I now work for FourVision in the Microsoft D365 world. So, in a nutshell. Yeah.
All right. What made you switch from the HR general part that you were studying and working to the technology side?
That was not coincidence. I was HRIS manager, so I was responsible for the HR system and payroll systems we had. We worked together with a large partner, and the partner came to me and asked if I would join them. So instead of doing it for one company, I started doing it for many companies. First in the Benelux. So the real focus for the company in that in the Oracle world was Benelux, and now since I work for FourVision, it's mainly globally. So it's a big change in that case also. So my language changed from Dutch in mainly English on a daily basis. So that's also the other side of the medal.
Yeah.
But that's
how it happened. Okay. And you never looked back. So you've been working with technology for a long time, for a longer time than probably you worked on the HR general part. You would never go back?
No, I started with black screens with green letters. So that was in the AS400 area. So that's about 25 years ago.
Yeah.
Now more than that, 30 years ago. So that's really, I saw the real change from AS400, the black screen, and then the first HR system, which was a black screen with white letters. So then already the PCs came up, the desktops, because first we had a complete mainframe. It was mainframing.
Yeah.
So our HR were also sort of tables in an AS400 framework. So yeah, that was not very fancy, I have to say.
I can imagine.
And then we changed to the first HR system, which then was on a PC, which was still we had to run it on really PC wise. So we did not have networks and that kind of stuff. So you had a PC on your PC. There was installed the hardware, and there was your PC was really the HR system of the company. So that was then the first step, and then later on in 2000, it changed to really an HR system, which was on a mainframe on no code on the client. That was the mentioning in that time. So you get an HR system. Yeah, it was even more back 1995 or something in that case. But yeah, then the first HR system came where you had one install base, and you could enter the system from different laptops, PCs, whatever. So that was already an amazing experience. And later on, it was also no code on the client. So in the first time, it was also that you had a lot of data still was coming up to your PC, downloaded, and then later on they changed. Everything was in the kind of cloud or LAN. Local area network, but really. So I have made I've seen it grow from the AS400 system back in the 80s and 90s until currently what we have in nowadays, software as a service. So that's a complete other world.
Wow, you've seen it all. You've seen it all. Yeah.
So I'm 32 years currently in the HR world, and before that, about 5-6 years, I worked in the commercial area at a bank. So yeah.
So and from all this experience, what is like to be an implementation consultant? What do you think keeps ticking the box to you, or keeps exciting you after all this time?
What is exciting me is getting the most out of the system. I see systems evolving, of course, because I'm that long in the area, and the small basis that was in the past, it has completely changed to a modern HR system, which is covering everything from hire to retire. And, in the past that was only a fraction of what it is today, and still, we still have a lot to do and how do you say that, to evolve, to get the best out of the HR software, because there's still a lot to to learn and a lot to develop. And that's what's driving me also. So, for me also, because I was pretty 30 years on the other side of the spectrum, I exactly also know how HR is working, how the processes are going, what you can expect. It's mostly part of the data is hard, but there's also a lot of soft data, and that soft data, like performance management is one of them, I think, is still an area which is still evolving even on a daily basis.
Yeah, do you think? I really like that expression of hard data and soft data, because I can imagine, and you correct me if I'm wrong, that the beginning of all this of these softwares, of these tools, began by solving hard data stuff like leave and absence, for example, and then as it evolved, start developing more tools for the soft data part, like performance management and those things. Do you think that was the case?
I've seen it myself. Maybe a simple example is to give on the soft side, succession planning. We nowadays have a nice software with 9-box grids, with 16-box grid. In the past, we did the same, but we sat together with the whole team, and then how to say that we put all the key positions or people which we thought which were people who could grow in the organization, the how to say that, the high potentials.
Yeah,
we did the same, but then on paper, and then we discussed them, and then you had to make it try to gather it together. And in that time, it was not that fancy. Even Excel didn't exist. The first Excel was Lotus Notes or something like that. And what we tried to do is to get it in Lotus Notes or in simple forms and put the data in, and then it was all manual stuff. So the real evolving is that now, if you put it in a system, you get a nice overview of everyone who measured a person. In that case, for example, if you look at succession planning, and then the person is directly coming there where you want to have him in which box or whatever. Yeah, in the past, it was really an action, a manual action, where we also had a lot of discussion between people before we even plotted a person somewhere in the box manually. And now you can do it based on a questionnaire. You can simply say, okay, these questions, and then the outcome means that he's coming there. Still, you can have differences. One person is measuring a person differently than another person. That's always the case. So that's the soft side. It's not hard. But it's amazing how that evolved in that kind of software evolved in the last 15 years. That's really amazing.
Do you think that, just a small follow-up to that, do you think that evolution was driven by technology itself, was driven by the needs of the customers? Do you think it was a mix of it?
It's a mix. It's a mix. Of course, companies try to look at the whole, how do you say that, stack in HR, and then build a system to it, which solves the needs of many customers. So that's what you see also. A system is not every organization is different, or say at least they are different.
Yes,
that's also the case. And then it's a way of how to say that, make the best out of it, create the best software, which can be used globally or locally, whatever. But every customer should be able to use that software. And that's still something. I think the biggest challenge. To make software which can be used by every customer which buys it, and I think if you work globally like we do, that's the biggest challenge. Make some software which can be used in the States or in Europe or in the Middle East or in Asia, whatever. And that's also. How to say that, you have to keep you have your knowledge that how the culture is and how the processes are globally, and that's what I really like on the job, that you work with different worlds, and that you really see, and also the matureness of the different customers, because we have really customers which are really acting on a mature level based on years of experience with also HR systems. But we have also customers which are changing from Excel and really have to make those steps. That's also the nice thing to get people on track on a higher level, also using the HR system.
Yeah, that sounds That sounds like exciting for a consultant indeed, because every company, like you just said, different worlds. Coming from different countries, the processes are different. The way they act, even legal entities and the way they process payroll, for example, that you have some experience with, it differs from country to country. Yeah.
That's where, if you talk about payroll, that's something even it can even differ in a country. So
yes, exactly. Okay, you have a lot of experience, obviously, with a lot of customers. You work with many different customers throughout your career. I'm interested to know, like, are there like common challenges besides, of course, trying to learn what you just said, trying to learn different practices from different customers from different countries? Yeah. Are there other challenges as being an implementation consultant that you find very common?
Yeah, the biggest challenge for a consultant is change management.
Okay.
That sounds maybe crazy, but a company is used to work in a certain way.
Yeah.
And you have to convince the customer that changing the way of working does not mean that the whole process is changing. The only thing is you change the way of working, and getting people how to say that. Yeah, change management, which is very important, is also crucial for for your project, but also crucial for getting, how to say that, getting a satisfied customer.
Yeah, getting the customer to use the tools, right?
Yeah, exactly. And if a customer is not willing to change, because that's mostly that's always a challenge, then you get a tough project.
Yeah. There you go. Simple as that. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because there's a lack of context? The people making the decision doesn't inform the actual people that will work with the software. Where do you think that problem arises all the time? Why that is?
I think people are hesitating to change their way of working. And that's really, they're used to a certain way of working, maybe already for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
And we're going to tell them that they have to change the way of working. I always ask the question to the customer sometimes if we have that kind of discussion. Yeah, you do it already for 50 years, but did you ever ask yourself if you do it already for 50 years on the right way? Because you have to also think about, okay, can I improve the way of working by changing process, whatever, and it is. People are not mostly are really hesitating to change the way of working because people are used to a certain way of working and not willing to change.
That's all they know, right? For some people, that's all they know for 10, 15 years, as you said.
And therefore, you can better have a customer which is now working with Excel because everything what we do is good. Then a customer which has already an HR system and has to change the HR system, has to change the way of changing their work, if they have to change the way of working, and that are a much more tough project because change management is a big thing now.
Yeah, no, that definitely. How do you go about? You already shared a bit there, saying that asking why, asking people, why did you ever think about how you were doing this process and if it can be improved or not? How do you overcome that challenge? Because I guess there's a lot of communication involved that you need to explain that you don't necessarily need to do the same things like you did. You can actually do less steps with a better tool. How do you go about changing management and
discuss it many times sometimes until they have the mindset they get the switch, and that's difficult. And sometimes it's going to work and you succeed, but there are also projects where you don't succeed, and they are really not willing to change their way of working. Then they ask where you're ending then is in a lot of enhancements on the system, which will not be benefit the system. And that's and also benefits process. Of course, I have many years of experience also on the other side, so I know how it works. But the fact is, you have to really be eager to change. If you start an implementation of a new HR system, if you're not willing to change, it will not be a success.
Yeah, it's also a mindset, right?
It's really mindset. Mostly it's mindset. It's not mostly it's of course, sometimes we miss functionality. That's where we're strong in, also in helping the customer to solve this kind of issues. The fact is, you have to be willing to change. And that's the biggest challenge.
Yeah.
And where customers are really okay, we take it as it comes. You have very easy projects. So I always say they eat out of your hand. But that's something also based on how you communicate with the customer, how you bring it, what the possibilities are, and it is not always going right or going left or going straight, but you can also you can go left, you can go straight, and you can go right. If you go left, these are the consequences. If you go right away, then these are the consequences. If you go and tell me what you want, and it's not always black or white. So that's also and of course for that you have to know how processes are really running in HR, and also you have to know what the software can and can't. So that's also something which is important.
Yeah, that definitely. Okay, if we move towards the performance management, as I said in the beginning, you are the performance management product specialist here. Mm-hmm. People don't know exactly what it does, what it is. This web app. Give us an overview, and what do you think people can benefit more from it?
Yeah, it's managing your process of goal setting, behaviors, all kind of things within the performance cycle, your yearly appraisal process. That's what it can manage. It's also enabling succession planning, key positions, that kind of stuff. So who's on a key position? What happens if that person is leaving? The risk of leaving. Yeah, and that kind of things, which you put in a 9-box grid or a 16-box grid. We support both. And also kind of workforce planning. So based on rating people in a 9-year review, that you get a merit increase, and that merit increase is also in the system. So based on, let me say you have a rating 3, that means you get a 3% increase. It's automatically done. It's giving you the merit increase. A manager can check it, can approve it, can change it, can give a higher percentage or lower percentage, whatever, as long as he stays in his budget. And based on that, in the end, also of process, automatic merit increase is uploaded into the HR system. And if you have also payroll interface, it's automatically generating a new pay slip with the new salary. So that's a little bit in a nutshell what performance management can do. And performance management is very flexible, because we have customers which have a different way of working than others, and due to the fact that we have a kind of a kind of layer where you can add things in or things out even, you're able to build your own process. in a flexible way. And most performance systems have a kind of certain way of working. In our way of working, it's really we have a kind of layer, and in that layer you have different possibilities to add to that layer or exclude from that layer. So you get really the process as you use it within your organization. And even what we see is customers are starting with performance management. I have a kind of performance management way of working. They see our system and they say, hey, we're going to change our process because this is much better on this and this and this. We incorporate that, and the process becoming more mature for the customer. So it's very flexible. Still, we are improving
every day.
Every day, every month, I have to say.
Yeah.
So we're really looking into what could be good improvement, which based on the market, but also based on feedback of our current customers, because we really get good feedback from our customers in a way. Hey, this is working that way. If it would work this way, it could improve the product and also our process. Could you look at it?
Yeah,
it's really amazing in a positive way. It's not really from this doesn't work for us. No, we work with the system. However, if if you could do some adjustment, it would even work better. And then we're going to look, is that something only for this customer, or is that something which many customers could use based on that one? And if we say, this is really an enhancement for the product, which is benefit a lot of other customers, and that we are really try to get it into the system, and also to discuss with the customer who brought it in, how it best could fit for them, and to engage them even in how we are building things. And that's really nice, because I have a lot of good discussions also with customers who are already using the product to make the product better based on enhancements they come with, and that's really working well.
Yeah. So, I remember, for example, we had Jaganathan some weeks ago. He implemented performance management for Element. I guess you were involved in the project.
Yeah, not then, but since then I'm involved in the project.
Yeah, but what I was about to say is that it can give so much data for the company in terms of performance cycle, in terms of those elements around the employees, that it's very flexible, and at the same time provides valuable data for the company to understand in terms of succession planning, of performance cycles, and those things, right?
Exactly.
The tool, you said, is flexible enough that adapts to the customer process. I think, I guess everybody listening, it's a big plus.
I did not meet any customers where we very simple. We had a workshop last week at an aspirant customer.
Okay, a prospect.
A prospect. That's the word. Yeah. At a prospect, they had a complete different process. Completely, I never seen kind of this processes how they would manage it. It's the first time. It's they call it feed forward, for example, not feedback, but feed forward. And based on the workshop we had, and also the requirements document we got from him, how they would like to have the process. We set up an POC for the customer, proof of concept, and show them, in this case, with the software we have, this could work in this way. We showed it, and they were really amazed that their process, which was really different from the standard, could almost, with 95%, there were still some things, enhancements to do to really manage it, but for 95%, now even more, 99% even, the process fits in our software.
Awesome.
And that they were really amazed about the fact about the flexibility of the software.
Mm-hmm.
And 2 days later, they were our customer. So that means that we really have built something which is which suits almost every needs. Is a mature product, and we still make it even more mature with extra enhancements and more flexibility even in it. But that has also its risk. Make it flexible. That means you have a lot of buttons to enable, disable. That can also work in another way. But the flexibility we built in has made it a really good product, which can be used almost for every customer all over the world.
That's amazing. Let me just ask you one more thing about this. Where can a company start with performance management? You say let's say that a company implements the web app. What is required to set up? How do you know what skills to tie to different roles and stuff?
What is required is that your HR system is set up, that you have your HR data available, because we sync all the data, which is the organizational data, and all the employee data between.
Just let me stop you there. That system needs to be Dynamics. Microsoft
it needs to be Dynamics.
Yes. Okay. Keep going.
Maybe it could work on another. It could work maybe on another system. We already checked that in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But it could fit. But then you have to build an integration between the app and another HR system. But that's not. We are really a Microsoft.
Of course. It's just to make that clear.
It works on D365, but also on finance and operations HR. Okay. So it works on both sides. So that's your base requirement. Without you can't start performance management if you did not implement HR now. So if you already say, we had a customer which say, can we not already go live with performance management before we have our HR system live? That's not possible because there's no data in, because there's complete integration with the data from D365, which is according to roles, users, employee data, all that kind of stuff, salary, organization management data. That's all coming from D365. So it's only you have to how do you say that? One-stop shop where you add your HR data, and your performance management system is using that HR data to manage your HR of your performance management process.
Okay, so if you have that data set up, if you have the central system, the HR system, and Dynamics, once you get into the performance app, to the performance web app, do you need to set skills inside there, or that data already is coming from the central system, or is the performance? Do you need to do some work? What I mean by this is you need to do some work with the app.
Of course, you have to. You have to you have to create. If you make use of predefined goals, you have to set your goals. You have to create your PDR documents, so your performance review documents, and tell what you want to have in it, because it's a kind of building blocks which are in the performance document, where you can say, this building block I want in, that if I use mobilities, I want to have mobilities in. If I don't use skills, I don't put skills in. So I make them available in the performance document. So it's a kind of building blocks from where you build the whole performance document which you use. But most data is integrated. However, you have to choose if you currently we have the skills in the performance management app, because we have also skill mapping, key positions, succession planning, which is using skills, all that kind of stuff. And therefore we did not currently integrate it with D365, but really because you use all the data in the system, you can add the data in the system, because also a person can update his skills in the performance management based on the goals he has achieved. And then you want to do that in one way, and you don't have to go to. You want to have to go to HR and then update your skills. So everything in one thing in the same area. So that's how we build the same with certificates and that kind of stuff. We also have an integration with certificates, of course, from D365. But yeah, some how to say that parts we do not integrate from D365. We really do it in the app.
Okay, but because it's more stable probably and works better.
Yeah, but it's also because you use the data in the app and you update the data from the app. Otherwise, you have to go back, or you have you can still maybe get the data in D365, but you have also look at is there any added value to copy the data back to D365 for the HR process over there. So that's something why we don't do that for some areas.
Okay, that's pretty clear. I'm already taking a lot of your time today, so I have only one more question. I know you're pretty busy. You've seen like we said at the beginning of the episode, you've seen a lot of stuff. You've seen it all in HR. I'm just interested to know if there's any interesting trends that you anticipate. Where do you think this market will evolve to, or are there signs that you feel like more confident in saying, I think we're going to move more towards this way, to the soft data that we spoke about? What is your feeling about that?
It's a difficult question you ask me here.
Yeah.
I don't have a
ready answer.
Yeah, that's right, and I can't directly look forward into the future, of course.
Yeah.
But the fact is that customers are really looking for a lot of integration. So integration, and of course that's I think the main thing. And of course there are a lot of trends like learning management, that kind of stuff.
Automation and all that.
Yeah. And I think it's not a trend. I really say it's something which is already for a long time there. It's really automation integration. So get everything integrated, so you only have one single point of entrance where you put in the data, and you don't have to put it in 3 other systems, but it's automatically, and that still is an area where still a lot can be achieved.
Yes,
and we can make big steps because I see also other things, of course, which where I say, okay, this would be good that Microsoft invest in this kind of things. But on the other side, I hope not, because then we can do it. But that's there's still some lack in some areas where Microsoft should, how do you say that? Could take some action and improve the product.
Correct.
But trends. The fact is, trends are every year there's a new trend. So that's I'm not.
Let's be practical about it. Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Well, from mainframes to desktops and laptops after that, then is the cloud, then the mobile. You've seen it all, Chris. Thank you so much.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you so much for being here. This was a very interesting conversation for me, hopefully for the listeners too. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, yeah. Time flies, I have to say. So,
time flies, indeed.
When we started, I think, can I talk half an hour? But we're already much ahead.
Yeah. I think you like this. You like this talk, and I enjoyed it very much. I hope everybody listening out there did enjoy it too. Again, Chris, thank you for your time. Thank you for being here. I hope you keep doing this for at least another 30 years. Who knows?
Oh yeah, no, I don't think so. But
well, I hope you do, and we keep having people like you sharing your expertise. This was great. Thank you so much. Have a great week, people listening out there. Stay safe. We'll see you next time.